If you're looking for a full body cool down that uses a foam roller, I think we can help.
We're going to start with a foam roller under one leg. And we're going to be going for 45-second blocks on each major muscle group. Now, I'm going to start with one leg on the foam roller. I like to roll all the way from the hip down to the knee, back up to the hip. And each time I like to start to gently nudge my way out wider and wider on the foam roller, working to the outside of the thigh. Now, something you can also do is you may find the pressure might be a little bit too intense. If it is, if you've got quite a dense foam roller and you're quite tight, it may be a bit too painful. So we don't want that. So the way you alleviate that is have your support arm and your support leg out to the side, absorbing some of the body weight. And then we go over to the other side for 45 seconds. So again, one leg on, knee or foot out to the side, arm out to the side. Work your way from the crease of the hip right up into the crease of the hip, out to the knee, and then you just start to gently roll your way further and further across. Working your way to the outside. Now, as you do this one, if you find a tender spot, what I want you doing is I want you stopping, park on it, and apply as much pressure as you feel comfortable, and then roll side to side. Roll across the muscle rather than up and down with the muscle. All right, so we're just, like I say, we're working our way to the outside of the thigh. And now we're going to go to our chest. All right, so as we do the chest exercise, what's going to happen here is we're going to trap that foam roller underneath the front of the shoulder here, between the pec and the delts, hand on the ground, knee up, lifting our chest up off the ground, putting the weight through the foam roller, just rolling in and out. Now, I like to do this one. This is a great exercise, given that so many people spend a lot of time at their computer, working at desks, on their phones, in that slouched forward position. And this is a really good stretch, a really great mobility piece to try and correct and undo some of that, some of those postures that we're holding for extended periods of time. All right, let's go to the other side. So same deal again, foam roller in, hand out, knee up. And what you can start to do as you do this one as well, like I say, if you find that tender spot, park on it, and rather than go side to side, roll forwards and back, forward and back. Now start to play with that hand position as well. You might want to move the hand up, you might want to move it down. You'll notice it'll just hit up different aspects of that, of the shoulder and the chest as to where you're feeling it. Just continue to roll him in and out. Again, if you find that tender spot, park on it. Spend a bit of time there. And now we're rolling over onto our backs. We're going to be doing some foam rolling for the upper back. So what we do here is place the foam roller under the shoulder blades, hands around the body, hips up off the ground, and start to walk your way in and out. Now, as you do this one, we don't want to roll up into the neck. We want to roll just to the top of the shoulder blades and back down. And again, you can start to roll across, hit up some of the fleshy part through the lats here on one side, bring your way back to the middle, hit those arms around, roll over to the other side. Now, as you're doing this, I need to stress something I want you to be aware of is you don't want to roll necessarily on bone. Pressure points or pain you're feeling with the bone is not ideal. All right, so if you're feeling a bit tender or a little bit like there's a pressure point, make sure it is a soft tissue. It's not a bony structure. All right, so again, now what we're doing here is we're hitting up our glutes. As we hit up the glutes, you're basically crossing the leg over and you're leaning across to the side in which that leg is raised. So in this instance, my right leg is crossed over my left knee and I'm leaning onto my right butt cheek. I'm rolling all the way up and down. And each time I roll, I'm just gently starting on the inside and working my way to the outside. If I find a tender spot, park on it and go side to side, just across the muscle rather than with the length of the muscle. And same again on the other side. Cross that leg over, lean across, work your way up and down. So go from the full right up on the sit bones here, lean back, Feel that all the way up through the glutes. Start to roll your way out as much as you can as well. If you do find that tender point, try not to fight it too much. Just go with it, relax into it. I know it's a little bit tempting to want to clinch up and fight it. I just need you to try and relax into it. Again, if you find that tender point, park on it. And now we're going into our hamstrings. Right, so with our hamstrings, one leg at a time, just rolling from the butt cheek all the way down to the back of the knee. Again, start on the just under the thigh, start to work your on the back of it. If you want to start to work your way to the inside of the from the back of the thigh. If you want to work your way to the inside region of the hamstrings or to the outside aspect of the hamstrings, just start to turn that toe over and across. Now, something I want you thinking about is that for a lot of people, unless you're particularly tight through the hamstring, you may not feel like you're getting much out of it. So you can either cross that leg over and put that weight of the other foot on top, or you'll change legs. Or the other option you can do is actually use a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball or a softball, something that a hockey ball, something that's got a bit of size to it, a little bit more firmness. But again, this is more about recovery than it is about resolving, I guess, particular mobility issues that you may have. So if you're feeling like you're just getting a good roll out, it's like a nice recuperative massage, perfect. That's the pressure you want. You don't want it to be going necessarily into pain, not for recovery. All we're trying to do is promote that circulation, that passive circulation. All right, and now we shift our focus down to the calf. All right, so again, we just roll all the way in, all the way out. You start on the inside of the calf, start to work your way to the outside. Again, if there's something that you're like, oh, yeah, that's a bit tender, it's not bone, good. Roll, just park over it and roll. If you want to put a little bit more pressure on it, you can. Again, it's just a really good way of, like we say, just hitting up any particularly knotty parts. Again, it's not the focus. It's not the focus of the cool down. It's more about just promoting that circulation. But if you've got something here and accessible, such as a foam roller, it's not a bad idea to get it in. And just spend a bit of time on it while you can. All right, so we're changing over to the other side. This is our last stint. Now, in saying that, this is about an 8-minute cool down. Now, if you're doing this and you are finding some spots that they probably need a little bit more attention, well, go back to the exercise that we did and do an extra second or a third block of 45 seconds just to really hit it up. You may even decide, hey, no, listen, this was okay. I feel like I could do it all again. I feel like I need to do it all again. Go for it. That's entirely up to yourself. But something I do need to stress is that you have to get into the habit, especially as you start to get to the other side of 40, we have to get in the habit of prioritizing our cool downs. And there we have it. Total body cool down in about 8 minutes using just the foam roller. Hopefully that'll help you recharge the battery enough to come back and hit it all up again later in the week. All right, we'll catch you then.